Hello everyone and welcome back. Today you are right now looking at video footage I recorded on PC while playing the beta to the new Ubisoft title Recon Breakpoint. At the time I am recording, this beta is still up till the end of this month, and I figured I would make a video about how I personally feel about the beta. As a huge fan of both Ubisoft and Tom Clancy games, I am going to try and stay as unbiased about the game as I can. However, I can't really review the beta without giving my personal opinion. So, with that being said, let's get right into the meat of the matter. It does allow you to have 4 different options to choose from at the start of the game: arcade, regular, advanced, and extreme. You can switch all these options throughout the game, so if you feel you're not having enough of a challenge or too much of a challenge, you can switch off of that, which I honestly do like because sometimes you get in over your head. Now, like a lot of Ubisoft games, including the previous Ghost Recon title Wildlands, there's a lot of customization available, from character looks to the gunsmith, which was also available in Wildlands. I will say, I do wish there was a bit more in-depth options, especially in the face. I ended up choosing the generic face just because it was the only one that almost resembled me. From there, you can go on to select a few different hair options and color options, but other than that, it's not a very in-depth system, and I kind of hope that they might add on to this by the time the full game comes out. However, since it comes out October 4th, there probably isn't going to be a lot of drastic changes to this game. Now, the gear customization is something I do like, though. It allows you to wear your best gear while looking how you want. And other games have done this, and honestly, I think it's a great system. So, if your best gear isn't the most fashionable, you can change your look without affecting your stats. The gunsmith is also a nice return to see. I really enjoyed the different builds I was able to make with weapons from Wildlands, and I'm pretty excited to see what I can do in Breakpoint. Now, since this was a beta, there were not really a lot of collectibles that you could get, but the collectibles for attachments that you could get did allow you to change your gun's looks and give you a little bit of a different playstyle. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about the story, only because it's a beta and there's a few story missions to play and we're left without the rest. But from what I have played so far, I actually somewhat enjoyed the story. I think it's pretty cool how Shane from The Walking Dead is out trying to kill you. What I want to discuss is the map, and honestly I like it. I think it's a great size for the map. It took me some time getting from point A to point B with just the portion we were given to play in the open beta. And also, that was with a helicopter, so if that says anything, it's going to take you a little while to traverse. Now, I previously mentioned a hub area, and I want to spend some time talking about that. The only minor problem I have is that you really can't move at a nice speed. It has you walking pretty slow, and when you use your sprint for whatever console you're on, it just makes you go a little bit faster. However, other than that small detail, I do like the new hub presented to us. It gave me a nice Destiny Tower vibe. It also added some nice features like the weapon shop that you can purchase items from, like gear, attachments, and weapons, of course, all with the new in-game currency. I would like to point out, however, that I didn't see a payable currency in the game store, but that was also because it was locked, so I can't inform you about that. The Bovec is also a nice new feature that is basically a rest area that you can choose a stat to increase for your next adventure. It lasts about 60 minutes, so it gives you enough time to have fun with it. The hub also allows you to meet other players, and I really like that feature in games like this. You can squad up with random people and go cause havoc across the region if that's what you want. You can also pick up both side and main missions just from talking to NPCs that are around the hub, which leads me to my next topic, which is side activities. They do still bring a bit of that repetitive factor to them like they did in Wildlands. However, they did make them a bit more fun, but that's also my personal opinion. The side activities still range from gathering intel from random NPCs to hunting for new guns and so on, which I will also state that you should wait to also open the loot crates found around the island for later, for a reason I will explain soon. The gameplay is something I really wanted to delve deep in with what I've gathered from the beta, and there's a lot to unpack. The new mechanics for the game don't feel very clunky. I've had few issues moving around and getting rubber banded back, but it's been a very rare occurrence for me. Also, since this game does have more survival features from shooting from behind cover is now big. I do wish they had taken the cover mechanics from the Division, because sometimes aiming your weapon from behind cover can be inconsistent if you're not really pushed up against your cover. You also tend to die a lot faster from enemies, and your movement is impaired when you start to lose too much health. You can escape this by healing yourself with the unlimited bandages you have, syringes which heal you more, but come in limited supply, and you just have to scavenge for more of them. But also, covering yourself in the surrounding environment when you go prone. I really like this. Now, you can't do it with tar and concrete, of course, because that'd be really stupid if you could, but you can do it with sand, grass, mud, snow. You can still run and gun, but I felt that it was a bit more efficient if you went the tactical approach. Wildlands was a lot easier to run and gun, but this time around, like I said before, you die faster. And also, enemies tend to be in larger groups this time around. The enemies are still not the brightest group of AI, but they can present a serious threat with the more diverse enemy types. You have your different variations of ground troops, like heavies and snipers, and vehicles as well, like tanks, the regular four-wheelers and bikes, but now drones are also playing a big role in the enemy category. You have ones that will alert where you are, and ones that can shoot you, and also like a big-ass swarm that will just murder vehicles. Another big factor added to the survival aspect of this game is hydration. It's not going to kill you, or at least it hasn't killed me yet, but you do want to make sure you're drinking water on occasion, because it will debuff you and make the rest of your life hell. Guns feel pretty nice from the different types that I've played with. They feel pretty realistic, and the recoil is very controllable. Now, I don't know if this is because I was playing on PC, but it does kind of make the game feel a bit easy at points when you're just gunning down multiple enemies or drones. But also, you can one-tap enemies, or at least unarmored enemies. However, don't get too comfortable with the weapon you're using, because gear score is now a thing in this game. And it doesn't prevent you from using the base weapons you like, because you can increase your gear score value by equipping more powerful armor like boots, helmets, and gloves. Like, I think you know where I'm going with this. But it does encourage using higher gear scored weapons to take down higher scored enemies. Now, of course, the gear score increases by equipping better loot, but it's not always going to be the same basic stuff you find, because all of your gear is tiered, from common to legendary or white to orange. I have yet to see the legendary for this game, so I really could not tell you what color or rarity it's considered. But this does apply for everything, so you're always going to be on your toes looking for better gear to use, whether it's a new weapon or a nice fucking vest you found. I don't think it applies to attachments, however, I could be wrong. Now, all of your gear is not only going to impact you in your PvE playthrough, but also your PvP experience as well, because your better gear is going to increase your stats and other abilities, both passive and linked to your specialty. And your specialty is the perk you choose when you first level up. There's 4 different specialties to choose from, and you are able to use all of them, just not at the same time. But it gives you the ability to choose which one you really like playing with. The specialties also have their own ability and progression system, which you can increase from just use, and you get different rewards from it, such as emblems, face paint, and weapons. Now, the last thing that I want to discuss is this game's PvP, which is called Ghost Wars, and this is probably my favorite part about the game. That is when it's functioning right. Out of all the matches I've played, I only have around 10 completed games, and that's because matchmaking sucks. Finding a game that hasn't started is easy, but when someone or multiple people who join the lobby leave after losing one round because they get dicked on, you're just stuck waiting for someone to join who never actually does. Now, I don't know if that's because not a lot of people were playing the Ghost Wars mode when I was playing, or because the matchmaking was trash. And I really hope it was what I just said, because I haven't had a lot of more of those same matchmaking issues since. But other than that, I think the PvP is great. Kill time is very fast, which feels necessary with the mechanics, and I honestly have just had a lot of fun playing PvP. The maps are pretty big for 4v4 game mode types, which is basically what it is. It's just survival. And I do wish that there were more rounds, maybe a little less time on the clock, because it only takes 2 rounds to win. Like, if you win both of them, that's game. And each of those rounds start with an 8-minute timer, which feels pretty excessive at some times, especially when you rush the enemies. But other than that, I really do think that the Ghost Wars, after it gets fixed, if it even needs to be fixing for the matchmaking issues, I think that's going to be a really big success, even if everything else in this game is not. Well, everyone, that's all I have, and I hope you guys got a nice look at the game and plan on trying it yourself, either during this open beta or when the full release hits October 4th. Also, I hope you enjoyed this video. I actually put some time into this video essay, and I know it doesn't look or sound the best, but this is also the first time I'm doing this, and I hope to do other videos like this on full release versions of the games and with improved quality. Anyways, I'm always looking for feedback and ways I can improve for you guys, so feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. I would say turn on my notifications, but I really post, so you don't have to if you don't want to. But always be on the lookout for a new video I might post. You can also follow me on Twitter at ApexLivewire, and until then, see ya.